All right. Well, welcome everyone to our first actual live podcast episode and live event, or not, I would say second live event, but live podcast event at the same time. I'm here with pharmacist Laura Licari. We are welcoming you all live to go through a brand new Career Jumpstart community that we are starting here at the Happy PharmD. So again, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're super excited to share this information with you. We're going to jump right in and have Laura explain what exactly this program entails and what we're trying to do with it to help everyone out there. And then we'll try to jump into some questions. And if anyone is also joining, you can also comment and send us some questions and we will do our best to give you as much information as possible. So welcome again, Laura. Long time no see.
Long time no see, Dr. Bakley. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for doing this. We are really excited to announce this is day one of our official open cart offering for the newest Happy PharmD product. We are launching today Career Jumpstart. So traditionally, Alex Barker, our founder, who unfortunately is not feeling well and could not be here today, he has developed the career coach model that you and I are both familiar with, as you are a career coach for the Happy PharmD as well. And I'm going to interview you for a second. How long have you been a career coach with Happy PharmD?
Let's see here. It has been since end of July or beginning of July this year.
Beginning of July. Okay, so you're going on 4 months already.
Roughly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And how long have you been the podcast host of the Happy PharmD?
That was that was August of, let's see, so a little over a year. Last August. So.
Okay, very cool. And I will tell you, audience, this is so meta for me because I've been listening to the Happy PharmD podcast for about a year. And so every time I start to hear Chris's voice, I think, oh my gosh, it's the host from the podcast. So it's really delightful for me that we are friends and colleagues now as career coaches for the Happy PharmD. So a little background on us, both coaches, both really love our job. Chris, is it okay if I guess when I ask you, you'll have to say yes, that you were a client of Alex. Is that correct?
100%. That's correct.
Okay, awesome. And real quick, what was the kind of journey that you went on with Alex?
I think it was mainly more just trying to figure out what I wanted to do as a pharmacist and also just trying to find that balance between work and life that everyone's kind of searching for, where you're not, 100% overworked, and also you have a lot of time to spend at home, and also, look forward to your job and not, always stressed out about it. So that the big thing for me was just kind of making that transition and kind of a lot of self-reflection, which I know is a lot that we work on with our clients as well. But trying to figure out what is that you truly want to do, what makes you happy, and trying to find that balance. So that was ultimately over my time with Alex. That was the main priority there.
That makes me so happy because I validate, and I'm quite a bit ahead of you in career and just age and progression. That takes a really long time to figure out. You go through school, you work so hard. You and I were sharing yesterday when we were preparing for this, right? Like very scrappy students, very gritty, like not at the top of our class. Like, well, maybe you were at the top of your class. I was definitely in the middle of my class. But right, like really time management and getting organized and being efficient, like it has taken me a long time to get there. And I know what the Happy PharmD offers in career coaching is the skills, the actual strategic knowledge to put yourself at the top of an interview pile, how to network in your group, how to create an amazing LinkedIn, how to have a better resume than everyone else. And he gives you the motivation and enthusiasm to do that. Now he's expanded. I think we have, is it 7 coaches, Chris?
I want to say roughly 7. I was going to say I almost want to say 8, but I don't quote
I
me on
want to
that.
say 8 too. I think that sounds right. So we've got 8 coaches who follow that same model with, in my opinion, a baseline of positive encouragement is the foundation of our coaching approach, right? And we'll give you the materials, but we are here to give you the confidence and to tell you, yes, you can find a job, you can find that work-life balance, and we're going to help you do that. What we found was career coaching, of course, is a very, very large time and financial investment, as it should be when you're entering an intense program that is going to provide results if you put into it. Your output is going to be tremendous growth. But it's a lot of time to commit, and it is, again, a financial investment, as most coaching is, personal coaching. So what we came up with, and what Alex identified, is the probable need for a less intense form of coaching that is also supportive and encouraging, but it builds upon a positive community. And so that is what we are rolling out this week. And we've put out some details out there, but we haven't really put out what the full product is. And so we just put that out today. That's at the link at the bottom here. And that is what I am so excited to talk about. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I'm like, how much time do we have? Okay. It's actually, so it's a membership subscription service, and that's what's kind of new for us too. That's going to be the differential here. So it's a month-to-month subscription membership to be a part of our Career Jumpstart community. Within that product offering, you are going to get access to Alex's researched and developed based on his research, proprietary Career Jumpstart modules. And Chris, you can help me describe them a little bit, but they're in very wide range of, as you mentioned, self-reflection, a lot of self-reflection. What are my values? What are my goals? Some vision casting. What do I want? Where do I want to be in 5 years so that I know what I'm working towards? Professional development, like I said, LinkedIn, resume, cover letter, networking. What am I missing? There's so much. There's like hours and hours, so I'm sure I'm missing some things.
No, and I think, yeah, I think that, I mean, I think the self-reflection is huge. I think it's a lot of things where you wouldn't necessarily have maybe set aside time normally if you were doing this on your own, or even questions that you're like really like, like I haven't really thought about that. And a lot of these questions, like, like I tell a lot of other people, like it's not something where you want to rush through it. The whole purpose of it is to really take your time on it, to really deep dive self-reflection in yourself, to really determine, not just how to, like, a quick fix. It's more about trying to, plan for your future and to get you in that role that it will truly make you happy at the end of the day, and something that's, much more long term. So yeah, absolutely. And I think another big part is, like you said, the professional part, and networking is huge. So absolutely.
Actually, for our listeners and on our live cast right now, just this week, Chris, I had a colleague and friend reach out to me and say, I applied to 2 jobs today and just wanted to let you know. And I said, wait, you already applied? Wait, where did you apply? Can you forward me the job postings? And my comment to her was, we do this in coaching, right? Before you apply to a position, we need to network beforehand, not afterwards, beforehand. Before you submit anything, we talk to the talent recruiter, we talk to talent acquisition, we talk to, I guarantee, pharmacy is so small, you know someone who knows someone who knows someone, at least in the vicinity of this job. So I said, okay, so you already applied. Where is it? She gave me all the details, and it was here in Chicagoland, where I'm from, where she's from. Within 90 minutes, Chris, we had her application in front of the director of pharmacy for the hiring institution. The director of pharmacy went to the same institution, same pharmacy school that my friend and I went to, and she was in my class. So, I mean, that is the power of networking. And that is what we are going to discuss and practice and help our Career Jumpstart community do. So right now, actually, I have in our group, I have someone who posted, hey, I'm trying to figure out my summary line on my resume, right? So that kind of like get ya, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is what I'm looking for in my next job. And he posted that to get feedback. And I was like, yes, that is the example of what this community is going to build.
100%.
So I had another career coach, Janan, jump in, and she gave her advice. She said, maybe just change this one word to kind of capture potential metrics a little bit differently. And I was like, great. And then another career coach, Ann, jumped in, and we were like, yes. So that's the power of the community that we're going to have in this. Again, the pricing model is going to be different as well, since you have a lower level of individual attention. And I think that's going to be attractive as well to people who are really struggling in their lack of connection to the job that they're currently in, right? Pharmacists went to pharmacy school. You go for 4 years, 3 years if you're in an accelerated program like my institution. And you go and you love it, and you're with this community, you're with your colleagues, you're with your faculty, and it's so wonderful. And then you leave and you're kind of on your own, right? Pharmacists are very solitary in their work. They're not usually on a team of providers. And you're out for a couple years and you're working at certain chain pharmacies that will remain nameless, and it's really hard, and you really have this moral injury that I've heard it referred to, right? Where how can I take care of patients the way that feels so good to me, and the reason I went to school, and I've got this PharmD, and yet I am being told to do more and to give more and to ask less questions and to cut my tech help, and that feels really bad to people, really bad. And I know that. And it's literally my job as the community manager for our Career Jumpstart forum, which will be on Facebook, to motivate, elevate, and be a cheerleader for everyone to get you out of that system. We want to get you into a new job. Yep.
So walk me through, Corey, and for everyone listening, how do they start with this? Like, how does the actual program, like, how does that begin?
So, and we've got a comment. This is great. I'm very excited. Facebook user, thank you. This is awesome. So how it works is, and as I said, so we've got the website up that actually gives all the details. And for the podcast, I'll just read it real quick. I might read it a couple times. So for the podcast, it's www.thehappypharmd.com/career-jumpstart-enroll-now. And we'll read that again in a little bit. So how it works is you actually get quite a few, like I said, you get quite a few details within the program. So the community forum is actually just one part of the program. So it is the Career Jumpstart proprietary modules that Alex has developed and revamped year after year. He updates that information. You are going to get a monthly Q&A with Alex. And that's really exciting. For those of you who don't know Alex, he is one of my favorite people. I think epitomizes humor and authenticity and vulnerability, and those are such wonderful strengths that he has. And so we're going to have a recorded monthly Q&A so that when you have questions specific You could ask specific career questions. We could ask general live or vision casting questions. It's going to be live. It'll be recorded, so you can watch it synchronously or asynchronously. You can have access to Alex. Along with that, we are going to have monthly brainstorming sessions, kind of like a group mastermind. So you come and you bring your questions, concerns, comments. The group, again, will be synchronous. It'll be recorded, so you could always watch stuff later. And you get the value of the group think, hearing what you're saying, reflecting upon it, and giving their opinion. I actually did a women faculty pharmacy mastermind over the summer, as I mentioned to you in our podcast earlier this week, and that was revolutionary to me, right? You get stuck in your own head and you give yourselves these negative thoughts, and all of a sudden you get together in this wonderful, supportive, loving group, and you're like, I can do anything, and that's what we're looking for. So that's very exciting. We also are going to have, you have access to me at all times. So I will be available as your community manager to answer any questions. I'll be posting in the group on a regular basis. I have been posting a lot. Chris, you probably have seen. I get a listserv from LinkedIn once a week now that tells me about jobs in the Chicagoland area, and I've posted those and have actually got some interesting feedback on, looking at different jobs, looking at what the requirements are. Do you qualify for this? And kind of having some offline conversations about whether people should apply to different things. So again, that's in our private community forum, which is going to be on Facebook. So that will be a closed group. That will be only people who have signed up for Career Jumpstart. We're actually going to have some of our current coach clients stay in there as well. And so it will not be open to everyone. And the reason that we're doing that is I think I'll probably feel some head nods going on when I say this. Some other pharmacy forums are very negative, and they become very toxic and very it's a place for complaining. Of course, we want to be able to have it be an open and safe place for people to talk about their struggles, but we are not going to allow a place for complaining. And I want to be very clear about that, because you can find that in other places. Absolutely. Our community is going to be positive, it's going to be proactive, and it's going to be supportive. So we want people bringing their best selves and their best energy, and that is the goal for that community.
No, I love that. I mean, I feel like, you can't overemphasize like how much like the whole point of this is like you said, to form a community. We want everyone on the same team. Everyone's end goal is the same. We're all trying to determine mainly what we want to do and where we want to go, and how everyone can be, ultimately well-rounded and happy, enjoy what they're doing, and have that life balance. So I absolutely love that. And then in terms of the, I'm not sure, I guess I'll jump in with this question. With the Q&A, how you said that will be monthly, is that correct?
So I said monthly, but actually so it's monthly Q&A with Alex, and that's going to be monthly. We're going to have the monthly mastermind, but we actually have weekly calls with Alex. So I misspoke there. It's going to be weekly calls with Alex Barker, PharmD, our founder, and that is going to be a recurring basis. And again, recorded so that you can watch it asynchronously. We're going to make it at different times on different days. We know people work first, second, third shift, and so it'll be hard to always attend. And I did want to put one more cherry on top, Chris, for Career Jumpstart. I have recruited my friend and colleague, Dr. Rebecca Kastner. She's a PharmD. She is a level 1 trained mindfulness-based stress reduction teacher. She was trained through I'm making sure I get this right, through the Brown University School of Public Health Mindfulness Center. It's actually considered the gold standard in mindfulness. Judd Brewer is who started that. And for anyone who is into mindfulness, you will probably be familiar with that name. And so we have actually recruited her as well to host monthly 60-minute mindfulness sessions. And I think that really goes in line with our offering, which is, again, the reason you went to see Alex in the first place, to find that better work-life balance. And part of that is having the mindfulness and stress reduction that science shows is associated with mindfulness in order to get you out of that negative headspace that you are understandably under in your current job. Again, if you are in a negative environment, and get you to be able to refocus that energy onto getting yourself out of that job. That's what we're here for.
100%. And in terms of with those, like maybe they're thinking, so what is this? How is this different from coaching, or in terms of wanting to join, see what the Happy PharmD has to offer? What can you offer with that in terms of if someone's curious about both or one or either one, or how would you explain that to them?
That is a great question, Chris. And I think I'm probably going to get some text messages and emails today as today is just day one. It's been only a couple hours that we've really put out there all the details that encompass what you get as a Career Jumpstart community member. So great question. And I alluded to it a little bit at the beginning. Career coaching with the Happy PharmD and one of our, I think, 8 coaches now, that is a very personalized, intense, time intensive program. It is, I don't even know how, if you really put it 5 hours a week, 8 hours a week, it is a lot of time. And you have very, very close, I am on you like this, making sure, and for our audience that can't see, I'm putting my hands up to my eyes like binoculars. I am on you like a hawk, in a great way, in a loving, enthusiastic way, but I am not going to let you not get something done. If you need to, I have a client who had just not really felt like she needed to be on LinkedIn. She kind of had never taken the steps to go out there because she's been at the same place for 8 years. And she put a LinkedIn and she created a LinkedIn page, and I gave her a deadline and I was like, we got to do this. And she got her picture and she's got her about, and she networked with some former classmates. And so now she's got this network, and it's really exciting. And, I was not going to let her get away with not getting that LinkedIn done. And so that is a very stringent, very, it's collaborative, but it is an intense coaching program, very one-on-one. Again, to delineate, our community is going to be, again, a different amount of time investment. We are going to give you these product offerings, the monthly brainstorm, the monthly Q&A, the weekly Q&A with Alex, mindfulness, access to the modules that you can go through on your own. So it is going to be a different self-paced level of engagement. And that's what I think is reflected in the price point as well. And so when you need support, we are here for you. You want to come in every single day? You want to talk to me every day? Awesome. I'm here. I love it. I never stop talking about pharmacy. I couldn't be happier to help you. That makes me feel so good. I teach professional development at Roosevelt University College of Pharmacy here in Chicagoland. This is literally what I teach, and I love it. So it is going to be up to you how often you want to come into the group, how often you can or want to attend events, how often you can or want to rewatch, recorded sessions.
I love that. And the big thing I want to definitely emphasize is I think the big difference is, and which I think you'll still get, it sounds like you'll still get a big component here, right? In terms of the sense of community, being able to talk with others in your same shoes. And I think this is a great, for those out there who are still very hesitant or just not sure if they want to go hardcore coaching yet, right? I think
Right.
this is a great way to kind of get your feet wet and just kind of begin the process of, is this something for me? For me personally, like back when I was looking into other, coaching in general, when it was, for me, it was something that I had never heard of, right? When I was a potential past client of Alex before I even began with him. And I didn't even know it was a thing. And I remember kind of being a little hesitant about it. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not sure. I did a lot of research, and, I decided, how important, the big question is how important is, it's an investment in yourself, right? So the hardest thing is like overcoming that, like, is it worth it or anything like that? It's more of like, how important is your overall well-being? How important is, doing something that you really enjoy worth to you? And you really can't put a number on that. There really isn't a number for that. It's all about and also a big part of this is, putting in effort. Like, you have to also, we're going to help you all the way as much as possible with it, like you said, being around the clock, available to answer questions. The big thing is also, it's everyone's expecting to put in 110% or more each, right?
That's right.
To
It's
get the,
literally in
yeah.
our rules that we have the right to remove any comments that are not you being your best self, or to be supportive and your authentic, vulnerable self. And that's not, I don't mean that to sound as a threat at all. It's actually like more of a promise to the rest of our members that, again, if you there are plenty of open Facebook pharmacy groups to air your frustrations. Absolutely. And those are, excuse me, very, those serve a purpose. Those serve a purpose to be able to capture those frustrations. And I mean, it is extremely, let's just be honest, it is extremely frustrating to work for a chain pharmacy, certain chain pharmacies, and that are 3 or 4 letter acronyms. And it is COVID, and people are not getting the support that they want. They're not feeling safe like they want. I have colleagues right now who literally today are going into work, hundreds and hundreds of scripts, and they're down 2 techs today because of COVID. And they're, not feeling like they're getting a lot of support from corporate. I hear that over and over. I get it. And again, right? So we can acknowledge those frustrations. Absolutely. We can acknowledge those frustrations in the community, but we are not going to invite or condone a negative, repeating of, this is what I dealt with and this is what I dealt with. Someone just, we can acknowledge our frustrations. We're not going to get into detail about it. We want to keep it positive. Just this week, someone posted, who is a client right now with one of our coaches, Julie, that she has not worked in 7 months. I suspect, her pharmacy may be closed because of COVID. And she is working for the first time in 7 months, and she is so excited. And, I was like, I'm so proud of you. This is so great. And she was like, well, it's just a start, and, it might be short term. And like, already, right, the doubt creeping in of what's going to happen. And I get it. This is unbelievable, stressful times. But I told her, like, she got over that initial hurdle and she's working. One of my clients, again, her supermarket pharmacy had closed right before COVID, had gotten bought out by CVS. They did not keep on any of the staff. She just started working 3 weeks ago, after she and I worked together for a month. And I mean, she's adjusting, but she feels so good. It's actually a nonprofit pharmacy. Like, it's just wonderful. That's the kind of positive outcomes that we want to focus on. We all know we have that negativity. Again, you can put that somewhere else. We are here to support you and to be positive and to be enthusiastic. I'm not sure how many times I can say enthusiastic. So wink, wink. That is going to be the goal of this group.
I'll have you throw it in one more time before we end today's session. But
actually, Chris, can I just for our podcast listeners? I mean, hopefully they're driving in the car. They're not grabbing a pen and paper to write this down. But the website is again www.thehappypharmd.com/career-jumpstart-enroll-now.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And no, but I'd love to throw in there. I think like a big part of this, as you know, as all pharmacists can be kind of your own worst enemy, right, or a self-critic in certain ways, and we're all guilty of that, right? And I think the big part of this is also just kind of having that accountability and team feeling to it, where we're not really used to having a cheerleader or people who are kind of, you know, pushing us to be the better version of ourselves, right? Or a lot of times, like even with coaching or in general, a lot of us are kind of stuck in our own box and just kind of like, oh, you know, I don't think I can do that or do this or get out of where I am. And there's always, you know, there's so many different ways to look at it, that everyone here can help with that. So.
Well, and to just jump in real quick, Chris, I've reflected a lot. Again, I'm 14 years out of school. I actually think that has served us up until this point in our careers, right? It actually, like, to be hard on yourself is how you got through pharmacy school, how you're able to come in to, again, two very specific chain pharmacies with 200 in the queue and you're down a technician. So, right, that actual, like, you know, being hard on yourself and having that work ethic has served us to push forward and to keep pushing ourselves when we are in these impossible situations. What we have finally identified as burnout is the result of doing that model too long, right? Pushing yourself, not getting enough sleep, not having time to exercise, not having any stress reduction. That results in 3 years, you know, you're at the out window and a patient is upset and angry with you because, of course, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And you literally just you can't care anymore. Like, how could you possibly care anymore? That's burnout. And that is, you know, you've lost your resilience, and understandably so. So part of this too is, and that's why we added the mindfulness component. We've got to get back to, like, that is not sustainable. We want to get you out of that situation.
Absolutely agree. No, I love that. And I feel like, I feel like a lot of people are just, burnout is, I feel like it's very common. It's just a lot of people either can't accept that that's maybe where they are, or they just don't want to admit it. Or just I think right now a lot more people are talking about it, which I think is wonderful. But I think it's also great here. Like, it's something that, you know, if you're listening right now, it's, you know, you're not alone. Like, a lot of people are going through it. It's very normal. It's especially right now.
Oh my gosh, you're not alone.
Yeah.
We're telling you, you're not alone. Jackie Boyle, our head coach, and Alex Barker are constantly doing research. I know this is one of their kind of happening in the background is us trying to actually capture, you know, when you come in to see us as coach clients, or now, you know, with Career Jumpstart, how we can change that burnout and improve your resiliency. And we're trying to actually collect data points on that. And I don't know if you can expound on that a little bit more, but, like, that's, you know, we want to show that this is so pervasive in our profession right now because of, you know, half the pharmacists are employed by these two chain pharmacies, and that is with the metrics and the quotas and the lack of support and the lack of staff support. And I, you know, a lot of that has to do with the nefarious practices of the PBMs. Thank you, Chris, for having me back on to talk about that. You're already having me back on to talk about professional association membership. So great. We've got 2 more podcasts coming on, right? I could talk for hours about the nefarious practices of PBMs, and that's why you don't have payroll, is because you're losing money and revenue and audits. But that falls on the pharmacist and makes it so hard for them to feel productive and to serve their patients when you are asking to fill more just to get that dispensing fee for each prescription. So yes, and thank you, Chris. I would love to come back to talk about how we can fix remuneration for pharmacists and move away from a dispensing fee into a cognitive services provider status fee. Great, thank you so much.
3 more topics already on the books. Perfect.
Perfect.
You know, and I'd love for, you know, for anyone else that maybe they just popped on, or, you know, as we're wrapping up here, if you could summarize what this community, the sense of it for those who are still kind of like, you know, is this for me? How would you, in a couple minutes here, how could you summarize it best for them?
Thank you, Chris, and thanks for having me today and the opportunity to tell everyone that we can give you an indispensable career. We can help you transition out of your current position through a proven system, the Happy PharmD coach system. We can get you into a place where you are excited to wake up to go to work, where you feel connected to the work that you're doing. You can find that work-life balance. And we're doing that with career coaching, and now our new offering, a supportive community with monthly and weekly interactions that are going to motivate and encourage you in an enthusiastic manner.
Awesome. And for those out there who maybe are still a little ambivalent on this and kind of on the fence, how can they reach out to ask any questions that they maybe before signing up, or if they're still considering? How can they reach out to ask any specific questions that are kind of keeping them from wanting to sign up or still curious about?
Great, and thank you, Chris. And they can go to the website, again, www.thehappypharmd.com/career-jumpstart-enroll-now. You can also find me at Laura at thehappypharmd.com is my email. So I'd be happy to talk to you in more detail. Again, I think, this is a different model that pharmacists are not familiar with, this kind of membership subscription month-to-month service where we're going to be part of a community and have these different offerings. So I can understand that even after 37 minutes of our podcast, you're still kind of like, but what is this exactly? So I ask you to please go to the website. Again, send me an email at laura@thehappypharmd.com. Happy to answer any questions. We're really excited, and I really appreciate, Chris, the opportunity to talk to you about this today.
No, absolutely. And I hope, our listeners and everyone joining us today really got some useful information from it. Again, there's obviously a lot more to discuss about this and going to the website to read full detail about everything that's going on there. And also reach out to us with any questions or concerns. We're more than happy to, give some more insight on this. And thank you everyone for listening. Laura, thank you so much for being on again. I know we got at least 2 or 3 more topics coming up, so down the road.
I already can't wait.
Awesome. Well, thank everyone so much for being here. Thank you, Laura, and everyone have a great day. Hey, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on the live podcast, our very first one with Laura Licari. I really hope you got a really good sense, especially of what we're trying to offer here to everyone out there with our Career Jumpstart community, for all those pharmacists out there who are really just looking for that sense of togetherness and a group of other pharmacists who are really going through the same issues that you are, and being able to talk out loud with each other, actually communicate with one another, and just vent and to get those ideas out there to help out one another, and to especially just go into the right direction to figure out what it is you want to do career-wise, life-wise, and just to help find that balance. Again, so I really hope you got some useful information. Again, please go on to our website to read all the further details and logistics regarding the Career Jumpstart community. And also, again, that Career Jumpstart link to go to is www.thehappypharmd.com/career-jumpstart-enroll-now. Again, please reach out to Laura and I or anyone at the Happy PharmD with any questions. Thank you guys again for joining us. Super excited with this, and please reach out. Thank you so much.